Honorable Member for Woodley East.
Yes, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. The first paragraph, third line, I believe we just put the word TO between delivery and table. To read to table.
Put what?
The word to between delivery and table on the third line. Reforms, policy coordination and delivery to table. That's how it should be.
Honorable Member for Woodley East, can you read the entire sentence for us?
The Honorable Speaker invoked Order 14.3 of the Standing Orders and varied the order of the business to allow the Honorable Minister for Public Service, Administrative Reforms, Policy Coordination and Delivery to table, that's what I'm suggesting, to table the first reading of the National Environment Management Bill 2025.
Yeah, that's correct. Between delivery and table, you put TO. Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Woodley East. Any more on page 4, Honorable Members? We move to page 5. Thank you, Honorable Members. It has been moved and seconded that the record of votes and proceedings of the National Assembly sitting of Monday, 16th June 2025 be approved with amendments. Those in favor, please say aye. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. Honorable Members, I hope we had breakfast. Clerk, may we proceed, please?
Bills. Order 72, consideration stage of the Students Revolving Loan Scheme Bill 2024 by the Honorable Minister for
Honorable Members, let me first of all recognize the presence of the Honorable Minister for Youth and Sports, stepping in for the Honorable Minister for Higher Education. Honorable Minister, you are most welcome. Honorable Members, you will recall that after the second reading stage, the bill automatically stood referred to the ABC. Therefore, the bill is appointed today for consideration stage in accordance with Order 72 of the Standing Orders. During the consideration stage, members shall have the opportunity to give detailed consideration and scrutiny to every clause and schedule in the bill. This stage also provides the first opportunity for amendments to the bill to be debated and voted on. I will now therefore resolve the Assembly into the Committee of the Whole Assembly to give consideration to the bill entitled Students Revolving Loan Scheme Bill 2024. The Assembly now resolves into the Committee of the Whole Assembly. Nanga. No, Honorable members, the Assembly will now go into the Committee of the Whole Assembly to consider the Students' Revolving Loan Scheme Bill 2024 clause by clause. Honorable members, we will be guided by Standing Order 72 during the consideration stage. And the committee report also will guide us through. Where is the committee? Are they together? Huh?
Some of us are.
Okay.
Some of us are here. But we are not seeing the FPAC guys.
Pardon? What is it? It was a joint committee. And you are together?
No, we are not together. We have only the education. We have only the education committee here.
But what we are saying is, even if we are not together, at least one or two can represent us.
No, wherever they be seated.
Yeah, you don't need everybody of the committee to be there. Serakunda?
If we have one, will be better. But if we have none.
We go. Honorable members, we can now take off.
Clause 1, subtitle.
Honorable members, it is proposed, please, before I make the proposal, if you have any comments, observations on that particular clause, you can just call my attention.
Yeah, there is an observation.
Yes,
subtitle.
please. On clause 1, huh?
Clause 1, yes.
Yes, can we hear it?
The opinion of the Joint Committee on the subtitle that the Joint Committee proposed that this section stands as part of the bill with amendment and now be read as this act may be cited as the Student Revolving Loan Scheme Bill 2025.
Bill or act?
Yeah, instead of 2024.
Yes, 2025.
Yeah, 2025.
Honorable members, have you seen it? Instead of 2024, it's 2025. Okay? It is proposed that clause 1 stand part of the bill as amended. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it.
Clause 2, interpretation.
It is proposed that clause 2, interpretation, stand part of the bill. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it.
Clause 3 is establishment of the Students' Revolving Loan Scheme.
Yes, there is an amendment.
There is a proposed amendment.
Yeah, proposed amendment. Yeah, in this part, the Joint Committee proposes that part 2 from clause 3 to 14 stand part of the bill with the following amendments. 11.3. The Joint Committee recommends that the quorum at a meeting of the board should be a simple majority of the members. Yeah, that's part 2.
We are not getting.
Committee members, be specific now. Lead us to specific clauses and pages where you are proposing the amendment. Yes?
The clerk announced part 2, 3, the establishment. If they don't have any amendment, then we can proceed. Then wherever you reach your amendment, then is where they can keep in. But part 2, the establishment of students, there's no amendment, we proceed.
Now, but what I'm saying is, their proposed amendment, is it on clause 3?
Chair.
Read this.
Yes, Chair.
Now, the proposed amendment affected the following clauses from 3 to 14. The proposed amendment is on the quorum for a meeting, which they are saying, instead of to say they need this number, they say a simple majority. So if you look at clause 3 to clause 14,
No.
this are
there must be a specific area where it is stated that the quorum should be this amount. That's where we should only change. Yes, please.
On clause 11, if you go to page 7,
Chair, there is no amendment in part 3.
if you go to page 7,
Chair.
page, clause 11, if you go to page 7,
They want to clarify one thing.
on page 7, the amendment that they are proposing is on page 7. Yes, if you see 11, meeting of the board, if you go to clause 3 of 11, it says the quorum at a meeting of the board is 4 members. So now the amendment they are saying is simple majority instead of 4. That's what they're saying.
So there is no amendment in part 3.
Is that your proposal?
Yes,
That you are proposing that the quorum should not be 4, it should be a simple majority.
Yes. But
Honorable, is that your proposal? Yes, you should have brought that at that position on clause 11.
this is exactly what I wanted to tell you now. That there was an
No, we are going clause by clause.
Yes,
We are now on clause 3. Are there any proposed amendments
there
on
is no
clause 3?
proposed amendment on clause 3.
Say it again.
There is no proposed amendment on clause 3.
It is proposed that clause 3 stand part of the bill. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it.
Clause 4, functions of the Students' Revolving Loan Scheme.
It is proposed that clause 4. Yes, please. Yes, go ahead. Uli East.
Yes, Chair, if you go to say clause 4, C, at the end of where you have Gambia, educational institutions in the Gambia, it's followed by and. I think we should delete that and. C. There is an and there. We should delete that and bring that and to D after Gambia. You've seen that? Yes. Yeah, that's it. That's my observation there.
Are you following? Yes. Honorable Member for Woolly East, any more? Thank you, Honorable Member for I told the committee, before I announce, it is read by the clerk, before I come in, if you have any observations, let them come in. They should come in first, even before other members. If we don't hear from them, we are continuing.
But we have a report of the committee. If they don't raise it, can we raise it?
This is what I'm saying. Anybody in the committee, you have the report. The committee report should come on. But let's follow the process. Immediately the clerk announces the clause. I will not say it. The committee will come on to comment and say they have observations or comments on it. I will listen to them, agree or disagree. If you don't hear from them, it means they have no comments. If any other member has any comment on that particular bill, you can come up and I will listen to you. That's the process we are following now. Yes, Honorable. Clause 4, yes.
The scope of the scholarship is a recommendation that the scholarship should not be limited to only tuition fees.
Where? You know, these are, you have to deal with specific paragraph.
This is clause 4.
Clause 4 where?
4C.
Clause 4C.
Yeah.
A, B, C.
Yes, can you read it?
Yes, the committee's recommendation. The committee has recommended the scope of the scholarship should not be limited to tuition fees. Other expenses such as rent, transport, textbooks should be covered.
Well, committee, what is wrong with you people? Committee, you don't have your report with you?
Yes, it is here. If you look at clause 4, functions of the student revolving loan scheme, yeah, it is what he's just cited now is part of the recommendations.
But we asked you to tell us your recommendations. And honorable members, what they are suggesting is in C, isn't it? Yes, C reads.
Alternatively, quota allocation can be made for public and private institutes. Based
now, Honorable, I will come to you. Can I say something?
Honorable Chair.
And where is their proposal?
Honorable Chair.
Hold on, please. Honorable Member for Woolwich.
Thank you. Yes, Chair, I saw the suggestion, but if you look at C, it is saying related matters. So should we name them or should we leave it at related matters? Because that
covers all their concerns.
Yes, it covers, yeah.
Yeah, it's covered. If you read it, it has.
No, read the bill itself.
Read the bill. You are proposing amendment to the bill.
Speaker, they are different.
Honorable, let's read it for everybody to hear.
Okay.
The scheme shall make provision for the payment of tuition fees and the related matters for post-secondary level students in accredited tertiary and higher educational institutions in the Gambia. What is the difference?
There.
Speaker, rent, transport, textbooks, these are
These are all related matters. It's more inclusive. Then we want to name them. This or
Yes, I think we leave it as it is. that covered the entire, yes. And the community need guidance.
Honorable members, we are just informed that the substantive Minister for Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology has arrived. Honorable Minister, welcome. We also further thank the Honorable Minister for Youth and Sports for ably stepping into shoes during your absence. Honorable, yes. We agree to leave it as it is, isn't it? Yes, yes, Honorable Member. Is it Kian West? Yes.
I have an observation on the secondary. Secondary level education. Is it post?
I mean on clause 4C.
Okay, yes. Is it post-secondary?
Yes.
Okay.
Post-secondary.
Okay. Yes.
After secondary.
Okay. Yes, I understood. I haven't had that post-secondary.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
It is, yes.
Chair.
Yes.
You know, I can remember during the consultation, I proposed that these related matters should either be interpreted in the interpretation, or we should be more specific. Otherwise, it will be vague. Yes.
Vague. You can even capitalize on it as it is. As it is. And related matters. All matters related to that level of education in terms of scholarship. Yes?
Chair, there are two different parts of the sentence. Look at it properly. You know, we are looking at the first part is making payment for tuition fees. Those are at the university level. The related matters are meant for post-secondary. Do you understand? Because I'm reading at C in the bill. In the bill. Just look at the bill. C says, okay, C says make provision for the payment. The scheme shall make provision for the payment of tuition fees, which is attributed to only university. Now, that's the simple understanding. No, wait, let me come. When you say tuition fees and related matters for post-secondary level students, the related matters is meant for post-secondary. It's not meant for university. Just look at the sentence. Tuition fees and the related matters. For tuition fees and the related, not tuition fees, comma, no, and something. He said tuition fees. Be patient. No, I read wrong. Yes, go look. Tuition fees and related matters. Tuition fees and related matters for post-secondary level students in accredited tertiary and higher. Post-secondary means any institution above secondary. Any institution above secondary. From the technical institutions to the highest university level. That's what it means. And this scholarship applies to those levels. What do you want? Where can you apply to some? No, you are going to confuse us, Honorable. One, it does not deal only with the university. This one only deals with tertiary institutions. Tertiary. Yeah, but our focus now is on the transportation, rent, and textbooks. So and they want to be specific in the bill. No, if you put that specific, if you exclude one, it means you cannot get that one. Honorable, that's natural. If I say all the members here is okay, then every member here will get it. But if I say all the members, I start naming them, I omit one person, the person will not get it. I want to ask you, Chair, tomorrow, if a minister could not be able to provide, for example, rent to transport. Do you understand? So the matter cannot be challenged. Because where can they bank on?
Honorable members, I think we have got this very clear.
That's my understanding.
Yeah, that's your understanding. It looks like we are all on the same page except you. It looks so. So are we on the same page? Yes. So I think we can continue. It is proposed that clause 4, functions of the Students' Revolving Loan Scheme, stand part of the bill as amended. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it.
Clause 5. The board of the scheme.
It is proposed that
Yes,
clause
Chair.
5, the board of the scheme stand part of the bill. Huh? But the committee, I said, don't wait for me. When you hear him speak, come out.
He was calling you.
Chair, if you look at clause 5, the board of the scheme, under the recommendations of the committee, A, National Accreditation and Quality Assurance Authority, NACA, and the National Association of Vocational and Skill Training Institutions could be considered for inclusion on the board. And B, public or private universities and TVET centers should be represented. C, representation of the students' unions should be on a rational basis. D, to ensure effectiveness and diversity, SSHFC should also be included. E, increasing the number of board members has cost implications.
Honorable, you are bringing in letters that are not in your report. A, B, D, E. It also corresponds with our report.
The regulations.
Honorable members, you've heard it, the proposal. One thing I want to say is we have to be very mindful in whatever we are proposing for amendment. But the Honorable Minister is here himself. Yes, Honorable Member for...
Yes,
Honorable Member for...
I think already in the bill, we have up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 9 as board members. So your addition will take us to up to 15 or 16 board members. And you made mention of the student body. It's already there. If you look at H, says a representative of a recognized national student body. So I think you have to prioritize your recommendation for inclusion of the board members. But as we have it in the bill, I think that number is very good, and they can easily perform to efficiency. So, but if you want to have it large number at the end of the day, the cost implication, as you stated. Yeah, so we need to see whether we can add B, A and B, but the rest should go out, to my suggestion.
Sorry, Chair?
That's letter E.
Yes, letter E.
Honorable Chair, for that of NACA, I want to observe that we leave NACA with their regulatory responsibilities. These are regulatory institutions, that regulates public, academic institutions who are beneficiaries of this fund. So let them concentrate on their regulatory institutions. If the board requires any information that is sufficient to their job, they will ask for these, documents to be provided for by NACA. So, but for them to sit in the board as a regulatory institution, to the board that administer funds that will be subject or that will be due to schools that they are regulating, and I think we need to observe that is a little bit sensitive to me. So, on my view, we leave them with their regulatory responsibilities, while we add other institutions on the board.
Okay, thank you very much. Honorable Member for Woole East. What I want to say. Honorable Lower Salum.
Yes, Honorable Chair, I think for them, even they contradict themselves on their report, and we need to engage the minister. A board of 15 to 16, that could be cost attached. And again, the bills that we normally passed here, the board minimum 7, maximum 9. You see? So I don't see no reason why we should go up to 15, 16 board members. And it will be expensive on other side. And we need to engage the minister about this. Thank you.
And what in fact the whole issue I want to believe is, you are talking about scholarship being given out, and scholarships for tertiary institutions. And if you look at the composition, administrators of the tertiary institution, relevant administrators are there. You have the A is a chairperson who is a person with extensive knowledge and experience in administration, management, or related field. The permanent secretary of the ministry, that's Ministry of Higher Education, naturally. Permanent secretary of the ministry responsible for basic and secondary education. The permanent secretary of the ministry responsible for finance, and the permanent secretary of the ministry responsible for public service and administrative reform, and the executive director himself, the solicitor general as the legal distinct, and a representative of the students themselves. This is very highly reflected. You cannot bring in all these other institutions as representatives into the board. It will be very difficult. I think it is good that, and I sincerely concur with the honorable member for Kiang West. Honorable members, I think the present representation suffices. Honorable Minister, can we invite you and then we hear from...
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I want to sincerely apologize for coming late because we had another activity. That's why with His Excellency the President related to the USAID convocation on Saturday, in which we used the opportunity to invite this august body for this activity. That's why I came late. So I want to support your suggestion and the Honorable National Assembly members. We're trying to limit the board so that we will not have a whole jam pack with officials who might not come, number one. Number two, some of the people who are likely to join this group have vested interest, because their students are supposed to be awarded and so on and so forth. That's the reason why we try, it's difficult, but we try to ensure that we get people who are not from these institutions who are going to benefit. That's why you talk about permanent secretaries here and there and so on, from basic education, Solicitor General, finance and so on. But if you bring heads of these institutions, they themselves, they will be very pleased to have their students being given the award because the money will be paid to them. So there will be conflict of interest. Whatever we can do, and you know it will not be enough. Whatever we're going to put there will not be enough. So there will be a lot of scramble. So if we can ensure that we have the PSCs and others, that will be of great help. That's our submission, Mr. Speaker.
We've heard the Honorable Minister. Pardon? What did he say?
That we leave it the way it is.
We leave it as it is. Yes, Honorable Member for Woolly East.
Correction there. In E, yes, the name of that ministry is Administrative Reforms. But what they have there is just reform. So we can put an, yes, in E.
So, thank you very much. Administrative reforms. Honorable Member for Woolly East. Honorable Member, so let me put the question. It is proposed that clause 5, the board of the scheme, stand part of the bill as amended. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. I want to repeat. Have we had breakfast?
Chair, do you want to sort out the discrepancy before you go?
The discrepancy?
Between the two reports.
No, we cannot sort that out. Honorable members, you know what our problem is? It seems we have two reports. And we want to know which report is the adopted one, so that we concentrate on that. It was given to us by the same people. Honorable.
It's fine.
No. It's usually with us. No, but the name itself, this is honorable table office to identify it between two reports. Please come. Don't waste our time. Two reports, you cannot, just by looking at it, they should be able to know which one is the one we are using. Honorable members, we can proceed. Clause 6.
Clause 6. Tenure of office of members of the board.
It is proposed that clause 6, tenure of office of members of the board, stand part of the bill. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it.
Clause 7. Functions of the board.
It is proposed that clause 7, functions of the board, stand part of the bill. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it.
Clause 8. Delegation of functions of the board.
It is proposed that clause 8, delegation of functions of the board, stand part of the bill. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it.
Clause 9. Selection of secretary to the board.
Yes, Honorable Member for Wood.
Thank you. Chair, if you look at clause 9.1, the board shall select a secretary to the board. I believe we should say the board shall select the secretary to the board. That's one observation there. And if you go to 2, the secretary is paid. I believe we should say the secretary shall be paid such allowances. And then it continues. And the second line of that also, determine as he or she may determine and he or she shall have no voting rights on the board. 2. You've seen it?
Proposal.
Yes.
Is on 1, where it says the board shall select a secretary. You said the board shall select the secretary. Are you following? Huh? Yes, that's not good.
Just one. I would have.
Member for Wood list is that if you leave the as there, but you add the article D as the secretary. As the secretary. As the secretary.
Which is okay.
You know, your proposal is the board shall select the secretary.
Which is wrong.
Listen, I understood him well. What he is saying is, instead of us, that as should be out and the Article D should be there. That's what he is saying. And that people have certain observations on that. And that's what they are saying. If some are saying it's correct as it is. Some are saying if you are going to put the Article D, leave the as. Just say the board shall select as the secretary something. These are the proposals.
It's correct as it is. As it is.
Honorable members, can the legal people help us? And then we go to your next one. The secretary is paid. The secretary shall be paid. I think that in this one I agree with you.
So, you don't need to say anything.
No, you can say something. You can tell me something.
You're right.
My position on 2 is the same as on 1, because these are all the same. It's just a matter of choice of word. The secretary is paid such allowance as the board may determine. There's nothing wrong with that.
The secretary is paid implies that there is a secretary.
There is no secretary. The legal people themselves are not happy with that. No.
But this is correct. 2 is correct.
That's English.
But you know, we are dealing with a legal issue. We are not dealing with any other thing besides a legal issue. So if we don't listen to them.
Chair. Mr. Chair.
Let them tell us what is wrong with it.
Mr. Chair.
Then to convince us.
All right. Yeah. All right. Just hold just a minute. What they are explaining is, you know, it's not only making a statement, it is mandatory that when a secretary is appointed, he is paid by the board. And for that, it cannot be is paid, but shall be paid. So that it becomes more mandatory on the board to be able to effect payment. That's the legal people's mind. I think we are comfortable with that. Okay. So we will amend that one to be the secretary shall be paid such allowances. Okay. And the last line. And he or she help us. Help us.
I'm just consulting.
Okay. What they are saying is for us to stop at determine, full stop, shall have no voting rights. I said, what about that? But that's what we are saying, that secretary should not have a voting right. They said, now I don't know, interpretation, this thing implies that secretaries don't have voting rights.
It's fine.
I said, we want to be specific. What makes it bad to be specific? They said nothing bad about it. And now they are trying to see how they can point it.
So what about we make it?
And these legal people, they take you to a corner.
Exactly.
They push you to a corner where you struggle to leave, you cannot. They are saying that before you can vote, you have to be a member of the board. And the secretary is not a member of the board. Why do you have to mention that he has no voting right or voting right? No, but he's not a member. So far he's not a member, it means he cannot vote. No, then you are implying something. You are implying that some other people who are not members could vote. So what they are saying is, the board are the only people who can vote. You must be a member of the board to vote. If you are not a member, there is no need for you to say you will not vote. If you go there and you find them on their board meeting, you are not a board member, you will not vote. So the secretary is not a board member because the membership of the board is determined.
Chair.
Yeah, this is what they said. They said we just stop and determine full stop.
Yes. But, Chair.
Yes.
Chair, yes.
Yes.
Chair, unless we put clarity on 9.1, the board shall select as secretary. It needs to be clarified here. Yes.
What, 9?
1.
That's what is there, man.
9.1.
Honorable Chair.
Yeah, the board shall select as secretary. That's what is there.
Yes, Honorable Chair, but I think we can.
Just, yeah, are you clear about that?
No, I'm not clear.
No, I'm not clear here.
You said, what should we make clear in that?
The board shall select the secretary to the board. It should be like that.
No, we have discussed that at length. And we finally agreed that that is not what we want. What we want is as it is.
Honorable Chair, I think I also have a different.
Yes, Honorable Nominated Member.
Yes, the same one. The board shall select a secretary to the board instead of as secretary. I think we should use the A instead of D or as.
You say what should he put? What should he put?
The board shall select a secretary to the board.
Yeah, that's what we have.
No, you said as. There is an as there. Instead of as, it should be A.
Can you read what you want?
Okay. What I want is the board shall select a secretary to the board.
Tell her to continue.
Instead of us, it should be A.
Continue. Finish the whole thing.
The board shall select a secretary to the board, a senior official of the scheme with the proven ability of administration.
You see the connection now. If you use A.
Chair. No way.
What my problem is, we are dealing with legal matters. And we must be guided by the legal luminaries. We must. We will say what we want, and they will count it in a way, that legal way, that will carry what we believe in, what we want.
Yes. Thank you.
We have to accept that. Because otherwise, legally, how you read it differ differently. So we have to be and we are making laws. Yes, Honorable, is it released?
Chair, what I was saying, in as much as, this is a law, we need some legal expertise, but the law is for the citizenry, laymen, who doesn't understand this language. So we need to simplify it so that people can understand it.
No. That will be our duty to go and explain to people what it means. But if we are writing it down in the legal way that is universally accepted, we have to do it that way. You cannot write it differently. You cannot write it differently. Now to explain it to the people becomes our responsibility. So, honorable members, what we have corrected is in 2. The secretary shall be paid instead of is paid. And then the whole sentence stops at determine, full stop. And determine. And he or she has no voting rights is removed. Have you seen that? Now, it is proposed that clause 9, selection of
They have a proposal. They want us to be express about the non-voting. So if you guys are willing, then we can help you couch something.
You people are going to confuse. Honorable members, I think what I'm being told is that the ministry also wants us to couch it in a way that we indicate that the secretary cannot vote. But honestly, what the legal people, yes, what they said, you cannot go beyond that.
It's fine.
To be honest. But to emphasize also, I don't think it's bad. So, Honorable Minister, have I captured your thought? You want us to state it that way? Okay. Just a minute. The legal people here will make a proposal, because I think they will want to come in with number 3, sub 3. Instead of continuing that's 2, probably they will just say this: the board secretary shall have no voting rights. Probably, I don't know how they are going to count it.
That's okay. Agreeable.
Okay. All right. Meanwhile, while they are drafting that, I will go to 10. I will jump that one. Yes.
Yeah, I have made some research here in some law books. But the phrase, the board shall select as secretary, is grammatically incomplete and unclear. You know, it needs either an article before secretary. So that is why we are proposing the board shall select.
Honorable, we have debated this, it's concluded. And if you are citing your law book, can you make reference so that members can go in there? Which ones make, which research areas have you touched that tells you that it's wrong?
Decision, so we can leave it as it is.
Honorable members, so clause 9. The next, we have 1, 2. We are going to have 3, a new 3. The secretary where is it? The secretary shall have no voting rights on the board. Shall not have. The secretary shall not have voting rights.
The rights to vote.
Tell me one thing.
That's what we have been told.
Vote. They shall not have voting rights. Voting rights on the board. Honorable, the proposal is the secretary shall not have voting rights on the board. It is proposed that clause 9, selection of secretary to the board, stand part of the bill as amended. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. Clause 10.
There's an issue.
Clause 11, meetings of the board.
Yes, 11.
The error is the number.
There is an amendment in clause 11.
My apologies. Clause 10, functions of the secretary.
It is proposed that clause 10, functions of the secretary, stand part of the bill. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it.
Clause 11, meetings of the board.
Yes, clause 11, there is an amendment.
You have problem, isn't it?
Yes.
You are now saying that the quorum of the meeting should be a simple majority.
Simple majority, yes.
Instead of
4.
4. Honorable Minister, you have no problems. Honorable members, instead of saying 4, they are saying a simple majority.
What constitutes a simple majority?
Just after the half. For instance, where you have 8, a simple majority will be 5. Yeah, where you have 8, a simple majority will be 5. Yes.
That's 2 times 6. So
Honorable member, the proposal is remove what is there, 4 members, and then put simple majority. That's the proposal. Your comments. You either accept or you reject. Accepted. Anybody who feels otherwise? No, you don't answer for others. No. Yes.
Chair, on a second thought, I think if we go by our standard, if the number is 9, then we should just put 5 as the quorum. It should not be less than 5. So that is explicit. 5. Anytime they come to meeting and they don't have 5 people, they know that they don't have quorum. Just like if we don't have 3, we say we don't have quorum. It's simple to understand that, rather than to say simple majority.
The legal people, that's what he was telling me. They are suggesting why before simple majority, why don't you put 5? I said, what is the difference between simple majority and that 5? And then they said, yeah, there is not much difference, but that one is more specific. I'm not quoting you. I am quoting them. No, I am quoting them. You cannot correct them. You can say an opinion. Yeah, let me just learn on this. I will give you the floor. So that was the discussion between me and them. And you are now saying we put 5 instead of simple majority. Woolly East. Is there a suggestion? It's not 9. It's not 9, it's 8. Okay, all right. So you have changed from simple majority to 5. Okay. Yes, Honorable Member for Woolly West. Kiang West.
Okay.
Kiang, I apologize.
It's okay. Honorable Chair, I want to look at quorum for a meeting to be half of the number, and when it comes to voting and decision making, we can make that 5, a simple majority. But when it comes to meeting, for them to be able to convene a meeting, commence a meeting and progress, at least half of the board members should be able to do that. But when it comes to decision making, then we can look at having more than half of the number to say simple majority, or we are specific to say 5 or and above. That is my observation.
My problem will be, if you have a meeting where you cannot make a decision, what then is the use of the meeting? But remember, at our committee meetings, a committee of 8, 9 people, when we have 3, they meet and they make decisions.
What I mean is, there might be instance, some members could be late to a meeting, right? So, but when it comes to decision making, probably before the end of the meeting, they could make to the meeting. But for them to be able to convene a meeting, there should be at least a flexible number for them to be able to convene a meeting. When they have 4, they will be able to convene a meeting.
As we progress, we have been making decisions. It's not usually always at the end that decisions are made and agreements are finalized. So somebody was telling me earlier that so far is 8, why don't we make it 9 so that 5 will be okay? Somebody is saying, why don't we say half, because the chairman will have a casting vote. So a lot of suggestions are coming. But now it's for you to make a determination on these things. Yes, let me just learn. Let's just clear him. We now want to make a determination as to what is the best way forward. So the new proposal now, the original proposal is simple majority. That simple majority is now reflected in 5 out of 8. That's what is proposed by the Honorable Member for Woolly East. Do you have any other thing that you think?
No, I am okay with that. My problem is convening meetings, might be a little bit challenging, as some of these officials are. Officials who are very much occupied, like the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Finance, who is very key when it comes to decision making as far as these issues are concerned. Most of them are in so many boards, in fact. So when you want to convene all of these people, sometimes it might be a little bit challenging. So, but when you have 4 of them, they will be able to convene a meeting, and I think that would help. But otherwise, 5, sometimes it could be a big challenge. Even here, you can see 9 members, sometimes you struggle to get 3 to have a quorum.
What you should now do is, let's have the amount as quorum, and then having the right to make decisions. But if you say the quorum can now meet, but they cannot make the decisions until they are above the quorum, it becomes difficult. You can now say that if you have half, that is 4, you have it, and then you think those people can continue with the meeting and make a determination. That's what, if that is your proposal.
Yes, we can make a compromise to that.
No, that will be your proposal.
Yes, I can leave my position for that.
Okay, all right. We have had that proposal, yes?
Yes, Honorable Chair, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. Honorable Chair, I'm also with the opinion that
maintain the quorum at a meeting of the board at 4 members. I think that's fine, because even at National Assembly level here, we struggle to have quorums, even a committee of 12 people. And I was always saying that when we have 3, we have quorum. So having 4 is fine, and I think what they put in the bill is okay with me as far as my position is concerned. Thank you.
For Kiang West is now saying we leave it as it is. That 4 is comfortable. And that's what you are saying. Yes.
Meetings of the board stand part of the bill. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it.
Clause 12, disclosure of interest.
It is yes.
So, and then if you come to see also, is adopt both paragraphs A and B if they want. So I think we need to standardize it.
Depends on the severity of the whole thing. They can give you this one, this one. If they think both of those ones are all too lenient, they put all of them together and give it to you.
No, Chair. The issue is the person should recuse himself or herself from the meeting. And if the person does not, and when you have pecuniary interest in that matter, you should recuse yourself. So if you don't recuse yourself, what should happen to you? So they should not give you options. Because if we give them options, they punish this person in one way and they punish the other person the next time in another way. And this punishment, in fact, is too lenient by saying they will stop you from 2 consecutive meetings. If you have really pecuniary meeting in this, you can decide to take part and solve your problem so that they will, excuse you from the next 2 meetings. It's not your problem.
Now,
so we need to look at it.
So you are saying that, let's say, for instance, for the avoidance of doubt, you will nullify his or her vote, at the same time suspend the person, whoever it may be. Meaning you don't have a choice of suspending somebody and sometime next person you only nullify his vote and you allow him to continue. Let it be determined that anybody who does that, your vote will be suspended and your vote will be nullified and you will be suspended. Honorable Minister.
Yes, that's okay. But we were thinking that the person would have done A and together with the board use B also, so that to recuse himself or herself. This is and then also you have 2. This is in case now it is failed, then that's the time you invoke this one. Yeah, A and B. But the other aspect, B would have taken care of the what we were talking about. That is, the person would have been stopped from participating in the deliberations of the board and shall recuse himself or herself from the matter concerned. Now, where now the member fails to make that disclosure referred, then that's the time now the board will invoke these powers.
Yeah. In invoking those powers, yeah, the board can be discriminatory. That's the fear. If it affects A, they can nullify the vote and then the rest they continue. If it is B, they may suspend the party. Because it's either or. So what the members are saying is, no room to maneuver. People should be treated the same. If you are found in default, be specific. This is the punishment.
Honorable Chair, my observation is on, in fact, before the punishment, because what it is trying to tell us here, when you look at it, that is telling you, after the action, then the board will invoke, these actions. So now the establishment, to establish that that individual has that interest, but refuse to disclose it. It's also another thing, and that's sensitive. Interest in a matter for consideration by the board shall A. disclose the nature of that interest, and the disclosure forms part of the records of the consideration of the matter, and B. not participate in the deliberation of the board, and shall recuse himself or herself from the matter concerned. Yes, okay. 2, where a member fails to make the disclosure referred to in subsection 1, the board shall nullify his or her vote respect of that matter, or suspend him or her from taking part in 2 future meetings of the board, or adopt both paragraphs A and B. So what I'm trying to say here, now the board's actions, disciplinary action against that person who is found wanting is to be substantial, is to be established. How does the board do this? How do you know that the person fails to disclose an interest, and he participated in voting, and after you, how do you do that?
Yeah, the only time you know it comes to, let's say for instance, it affects something that probably he is also a shareholder. You never knew and come to know that he is a shareholder which he has not stated, or he has a brother who is involved, but he has not disclosed it, and people don't know, only later to be known that he had a brother, that's why he was supporting that project. A lot of things can come out. But what we are saying here, what I think the Honorable Member for Woodley is saying, is that, yes, if you default in these things, you have ascribed punishments. But the punishments can be used differently for different people. What he is saying is the same crime. If we are to put the punishment, is that or no punishment? So what you give A is what you give B, and is what you give C, if you default. Yes, for the same crime. Because here, if the punishment only comes in where it says in 2, where a member fails to make the disclosure referred to in sub 1. Then that punishment, then where you fail to do that, we say he is proposing that your vote will be nullified and you will be suspended.
Okay, Honorable Chair, my suggestion is let board members declare interest and they still take part in the deliberation and participate.
You cannot declare your interest in something, peculiar interest, and then you participate nowhere. You cannot do that.
But after declaring interest,
we are trying to interview your son. You said he is my son, and you go and vote against your son. We will not expect that. What you do is you recuse yourself. Others will do it. You will declare that you have a peculiar interest in this, and that it affects you, and now you are moving away. That's what is standard. If you fail to do that and it's known, your punishment will be that vote you have voted will be struck down, and then you will be suspended. We are putting men and women of integrity into these positions. If you cannot declare yourself and you deliberately go to hide something, you should be punished.
Serious punishment.
I think that's, remember, am I speaking of what you are saying? I think, honorable members, honorable minister, we look at your proposal, and the phrasing there, you know, the board shall A, this, B, that, C, that. We just say the board shall nullify his or her vote in respect of that matter and suspend him or her for taking part in from taking part in 2 future meetings of the board. Full stop. We remove C. This is going to be just one. No more small a, b, and c. It will just be yes, one. Honorable Member, what we are saying, the agreements here is, some of them are telling us that no, let's just rebuke the person and not suspend him. Some of them are saying that, you know, these people, for instance, if it is the Solicitor General and he is the advisor to a legal advisor and he is suspended, how would they get legal advice, etc. That's their comments. I said we have a whole institution of Aegis chambers. The Solicitor General is only one of them. We will be able to get one. And then it will be on record that he was suspended for bad behavior from a committee. I said, so that's what we were saying, and that's what I was discussing with them. But you know, usually I am a little bit, you know, they don't get me easy because I am of the opinion mostly legal people, they surround each other, they cloak each other. So when they are talking to me, I am never very open, to be honest. I know that they are very good in securing each other. Yes.
Maybe this SG was a bad example. Next time I'll use finance.
Yes, you can use somebody else. You know, most people, we are commoners. We believe that.
But, yes, but specific subsistence portfolio holders are nominated in the board for reasons. And by virtue of those responsibilities, they might not be very well substituted or deputized by other people. So that when certain people, when they are suspended in the board, you cannot necessarily substitute them to another person. Like the permanent secretary minister of finance.
If you have a meeting and the permanent secretary minister of finance is not there and you have a quorum, no meeting.
This is a different case.
No, what I'm saying is, will there be a meeting?
This is a different situation.
No. Honorable, yes, you are saying some people are so critical that in their absence, you can hardly have a meeting and you miss their input. But what we have here is 4 people have to have a meeting. And there are 5 people, but the permanent secretary of finance is not there. Should the meeting go ahead or not?
Naturally, that can help, but not by virtue of our disciplinary action absenting.
No. What I'm saying is, no, I'm not saying discipline or no discipline. Here is a meeting. The permanent secretary of finance is not there. They have the necessary qualification, quorum, and all these things. Should the meeting go ahead or not?
It should go ahead.
It should go ahead without him.
Yes.
So if he is punished, it will go ahead without him. If he is punished for bad behavior, this one, he did not come, and the meeting is going ahead, and his input will not be there, and the meeting is valid. He has done something wrong, and he is punished. That's why he is not attending. Why should that meeting be affected? And then you can get somebody. The phrasing is what is left. We have agreed in principle that if the board is satisfied that you have some vested interest that you refuse to recuse yourself and do all those things, and they are satisfied, your vote will be nullified and you will be suspended. That's what we agreed on. And can you capture that for us in one listing, please? That all those A, B, 1, 2, 3, and A, B, C should go out. in subsection 1, the board shall nullify his or her votes and suspend him or her from taking part in 2 future meetings of the board. That's what we mean. Full stop. 2, she will be out. No, that's where we will end. That's the amendment. That's the proposed amendment to 2. Have you done it?
Yes.
Can we hear it?
You want me to read it out?
Yes, there, yes. Read it out for us.
Subsection 2 of clause 12. Where a member fails to make the disclosure referred to in subsection 1, the board shall nullify his or her vote in respect of that matter and suspend him or her from taking part in 2 future meetings of the board.
All what we do, honorable members, is in subsection 1, the board shall remove that L, A, and at the end of that matter, add an, and remove B, and it continues up to the board full stop, and remove O and C altogether. That's what they have done. So it is yes.
Is it 2 future consecutive meetings?
2?
Is it 2 future consecutive meetings?
From taking part in 2 future meetings.
It's a 2 future meetings, but it has not indicated whether it's consecutive or not.
They mean differently though, but what this one may imply is consecutive.
No, it's not complicated. It's right. It's right.
Yeah, you know, for me, what I understand from it is that the next 2 meetings you will not attend. And that means the next 2 consecutive meetings.
You should be explicit.
It cannot be one meeting next, and then another meeting 3 weeks, or after 4 or 5 meetings, another meeting. No. It will be the next meetings, 2 meetings following each other. So I think it's good to qualify it with consecutive meetings.
So can we substitute future for consecutive?
Taking part in 2 consecutive meetings. No, we remove future, consecutive. It is proposed that clause 12, disclosure of interest, stand part of the bill as amended. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. No.
Clause 13, allowance to board members.
It is proposed that clause 13, yes? Yes? Amendments. It is proposed that clause 13, allowance to board members, stand part of the bill as amended. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it.
Clause 14, committees of the board.
It is proposed that clause 14, yes, Young West.
Yes, committees of the board. You know, selection of the committees, let me say, constituting the committees of the board, and who may have the power to do that? Is it the board chairperson could have the power to constitute a committee when he feels it is necessary to have a committee, like it prevails in other institutions where you need to create a sub-institution under you? There is a power given to somebody to be able to do that, you know.
What you are saying is,
by the board.
What are you against in that clause?
What I mean is, they just say the board shall constitute a committee. I don't know.
Yes, and then you think it should be what?
Can we be specific on to say the chairperson of the board can constitute a committee?
No, it's not usually the chairperson, usually the board. It is for 14 committees of the board stand part of the bill. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it.
Part 3. Management and staff of the Students' Revolving Loan Scheme. Clause 15. The Executive Director.
It is proposed,
Chair.
that, yes.
And in clause 15, the committee is suggesting that the minimum qualification and experience for the position of the executive director need to be specified. And B, there may be the need for a deputy executive director to ensure continuity and effective operations.
You see, when we create some of these and attach positions to it, they do the purpose that they increase the bureaucracy level. Why not within the ministry you just remove a unit without creating executive director and the like? Because this all attached to
Honorable, I think that one it cannot be applicable here. We are already with a bill. That bill, you are talking about a policy difference and a decision to be made. Yeah, this one we have to continue.
Chair, because the issue is we made and we are here, the minister will come and tell us budget constraints and we are asking, we are looking.
Honorable, this is what I'm saying, but you are dealing with a bill that has been presented to you and we are now at this stage of the bill. You cannot take us back to those things. We cannot do that.
Making a recommendation. I'm amazing here.
No, that's not the right place. That's not the right time. What you are saying is, we are dealing with the clauses of the bill. You are talking about institutions, instead of creating a whole thing, you take one unit or one person from there to bring it in. That's a completely different thing.
In the bill, what I'm saying is that we expunge. I'm just bringing that we expunge that. That's what I'm talking about. They expunge this particular section, creating this thing. We expunge it from the bill.
But how are you going to administer the bill?
No, the ministry, within the ministry.
Honorable, you have passed a lot of clauses that talked about establishment of a board, this and that and that and that, up to this level. Now you come and say, no, we are going to do that.
It will affect it, but
Honorable, please.
Chair, it will affect it, but Chair, I think as lawmakers.
No. You can do that at
Chair,
side.
No, just let me learn, please.
Honorable, please.
Chair, let me learn.
Honorable, please. It's out of order. It's not in the context. We are already on the bill. You cannot take us back. Parliament has taken series of decisions until we reach this stage. We cannot go another way around. We cannot. It's not possible. Whatever you may bring down, you can talk about a policy change and advocate for that, debate it, and then help them to change it, and then they can come out with something. But as we are going, we cannot do that overnight. Just going to waste our time. Yes, Honorable.
The issue I have is with one, where you say after consultation with the board and the Public Service Commission. I think our practice is just with the Public Service Commission. not be the board, in appointing the executive director. The president should just consult the PSC.
Now, yes, I tend to agree with you. In the appointment of an executive director, that's with the Public Service Commission.
The board shouldn't play.
No, what role has the board to play in that?
Okay, you know, there are several issues. Maybe I start from.
PSC, you know, you are suggesting with the PSC. He's saying that this looks like a PE a public enterprise. I said, let him make me believe that this is a public enterprise. That was consultations they were doing going. Then he made and referred to the introduction, where it says where do you reply? That shows that it's a public enterprise. You said what?
Clause 3.
Clause 3.
The scheme.
Yes.
3.2.
Yes, he said, clause 3.2, the scheme is a body corporate with perpetual succession and a common seal, and may sue or be sued, etc., etc., and therefore is a public enterprise. And by the act, by the constitution, in the appointment of a board, a CEO, the president does so in consultation with the board of directors and not the public service.
And both.
With both of them. That's their agreement. Yes.
It's an agreement. It's more than he said.
Chair, yes, Kia West. Honorable Chair, that is what is applicable in other issues. But the basis of their argument, we tend to differ with that, because otherwise they will define every public institution a public enterprise, and that is not right. Public enterprise are business institutions that are incorporated to make business on behalf of the government. And this is what happened when we were dealing with the anti-corruption bill, anti-corruption commission. When the minister tried to define anti-corruption commission as a public enterprise, and we denied and we take the appointment of the anti-corruption commission to, for confirmation, to be subject to parliamentary confirmation. If we allow that to happen, we will set a precedent that many public institutions will be defined as public enterprises when they are not. And we will give those appointment responsibilities to the executive when it is definitely wrong, morally, legally. So we need to definitely look at that. This institution is not a public enterprise.
Honorable, thank you very much, Chair. I think the proposal is on 13, clause 13, allowance to the board members. Or do we pass that one? $15. No, I'm not sleeping. 15.1.
So, of the scheme, after consultation with the board and the Public Service Commission.
Yes, so
this is what is there.
Yes.
The honorable member for Woolly is proposing that it should be only be with the Public Service Commission, not with the board. So they are saying that as it is a public enterprise, because of clause 3 that established it, and the Constitution provides that in the appointment of the Director General, it has to be in consultations with the board and the PSC.
In fact, the president should be removed. It's the board and the Public Service Commission, not the president. The president should be out of it. The appointment.
Okay, you have to accept that. You have to accept that. The president is bigger and more accountable to all of us
Yes.
He's more accountable to us than whoever you will call.
No, not this particular bill. Not this particular bill.
Anyway, so honorable members, I think we leave it as it is. It is proposed that clause 15, the executive director stand part of the bill. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it.
Clause 16. Other officers and employees of the scheme.
It is proposed that clause 16, other officers and employees of the scheme stand part of the bill. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it.
Part 4. Financial and miscellaneous provisions. Clause 17. Establishment of the Students' Revolving Loan Trust Fund.
It is proposed that clause 17, establishment of the Students' Revolving Loan Trust Fund, stand part of the bill. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it.
Clause 18.
Yes.
Funds of the scheme.
Yes. Yes, somebody, I think we have the committee first.
Yes, clause 18, the committee have some recommendations there. That is proposal funds of the scheme. First one, there is sources of fund could include the education levy, anti-corruption commission, and other sources.
You said what?
Source of funds could include education levy, anti-corruption commission, and other sources. This is a suggestion from the committee. Yes.
Anti-corruption something. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying let him correct it. Yeah. How can funds come from anti-corruption commission? And are you saying that anti-corruption, the funds generated by them, should be given to the levy?
Yes.
Okay, why? Those institutions should not exist. Now let's listen to their suggestions. Let's complete them because they are saying that is there. Yeah?
That's one thing. Avoid taking loans.
So finance.
Let's see. Government should avoid taking loans of finance.
Okay.
The other one after this that should not be included in the source of funds.
No, we cannot. What do you mean? Are those things included?
These are proposals.
No, there are certain things. There are certain things that is executive power, executive decisions. Those cannot be our decisions. We cannot put some of those things where you can say government should not take loans to do that. But they can take loans to do that other one. That will be determined, So the key issue here is the funding. They are suggesting that funding should include educational levy. Which education levy are you talking about? Let them tell us what they intend, then you comment. Which education levy are you talking about? The minister never said this. No, let's hear them clear out what they are intending. That's what we are saying. I am not getting to the minister until the committee tells us what they have written, explain to us what they have written. Then we can continue. Committee.
If you look at 18, is telling us that funds of the scheme. We must remember that this is a student revolving loan scheme bill.
No, what we are saying,
yes.
Our question is, you are suggesting that it should include education levy.
Yes,
the education levy are you talking about?
Those are the fees. If you look at 18C, you have fees, charges, grants, loans, donations received by the scheme for the performance of its sponsor.
You don't understand me. Should include education levy. Which education levy should it include? Please. Which education levy should it include?
We are referring to the charges from the tuition fee.
Charges from? Honorable, please. Allow these people to explain themselves and then you agree or disagree.
Yes, Honorable Chair, the education levy is levied on the companies in the Gambia, and that money is meant to support NACA. However, the committee is aware that almost only 75% of the money is being used. For 75% of the money collected is being used for NACA. So the balance, that's what we want to use to also support this one. So this is yes, 25%. It goes back to the Concerned Revenue Fund, but it was meant to support NAWEC and institutions like NAWEC. But right now, the money only 75% is given to NACA, and the rest goes back to the Concerned Revenue Fund.
I don't know where.
But
yeah, he is.
But I'm a member of the committee.
He is the chair of the committee. He is the chair of the committee.
Member to know.
Yes, I just want to. Now I am putting this question to the minister. What do they have for other source that will fund this thing for sustainability? The other source of funding that they have to sustain this scheme.
The other fund, chair.
Honorable, other sources can be very, very many that even sometimes the minister may not know. What they are saying is just appropriation will not end. It can come from other sources. Other sources. You can even donate to it. I'm coming. You can even donate. It will be a source. The minister may not know that. No, what I'm saying is, other sources captures a wide range that even he himself may not know. He may not know that one day, a honorable member for Lower Fuladu will donate $100,000 to the fund. Honorable Minister.
Yes,
I'm coming to you.
Thank you very much.
After him, you, Honorable Central Body.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. The issue of the education levy is very, very important. It's good for us to clarify it once and for all. As explained earlier on, the education levy right now goes to fund NACA, National Accreditation and Quality Assurance Authority. NACA is the only satellite institution of the ministry that does not receive subvention. We don't give them any butu. The whole year, January to December, they rely exclusively from the education levy. Unfortunately, they don't receive the entire fund generated under the education levy. Yes, a lot of consultation, let me put it this way. Now we got the info that at least it's 75% that they receive. So we asked, where's the other 25? So now we were told during the discussion that that 25 will be given to one of the acts and so on. Because remember, we have the Tertiary Higher Education Trust Fund, and then we have the Research and Innovation Fund. And I think that's why I want to cross-check. If the legal team can cross-check and guide us. Because I've been reminded by the Director of Planning that there was a pronouncement by this assembly that that 25 will go to one of those instruments to address. So if it is already, if that is confirmed, then you cannot use it again for this one.
Yes.
But if it is not, then in this situation we can have it. But we need to clarify.
Honorable Minister, you said NACA has no other funding from government. No subvention.
Yeah, not subvention.
It's purely dependent on this levy.
Yes.
And this levy, they don't receive all.
No.
They don't receive all.
Yes.
According to me.
Can you off your mic?
No, the mic, it's not so the mic.
No. We know what we're doing. It's fine. Put it on. Your mic is not working.
It's not working.
Okay. All right. So that's what you said. And that money generated by the levy, is that enough? If everything being equal, everything collected, is that enough to run NACA?
No, because 2 years ago, the maximum they received the whole year around 30 million. Then last year, I think it went up to 40.
All right.
So, but it is not able to, because remember, NACA, they are the one now in charge of the Tibet and also the universities.
Now,
so it's not enough.
What I want members to understand from you is that it's because of the lack of collection of everything. That's why NACA could not be given all. But NACA should have been given all the 100% of the collection.
That's our submission.
That was the submission, and that was the agreement.
Chair.
Let me learn. Huh? Two, the other thing is we have created other satellite institutions under your ministry, and there are proposals that the same fund, this levy, some of it will go to fund those things.
Yes.
You know, the problem now is we are going to weaken our very strong institutions because we cannot fund them. The money itself that you are talking about now, the levy, cannot even sustain NACA itself. NACA is struggling. Who is saying, can I clarify?
Chair.
Chairman, yes?
Now, Honorable Chair, what happened is the bulk of the funding for this act is from the Cultural Revenue Fund, like what members of Parliament has appropriated. This year, 2025, we've put aside $40 million to fund the Student Revolving Loan Scheme, which is almost equivalent to NACA's budget.
No.
So 90 to 95% of the budget is going to come from the Cultural Revenue Fund. Now, this additional money from the education levy is just to further support this fund. But the bulk of the fund is going to come from the appropriation of the National Assembly.
Honorable, the issue is not where are we getting the funding. The issue is why are we going to use the educational levy from NACA and then put it here when we already we are subventing this one, this fund. Yeah. According to you, we put aside about 40-something million.
Yeah.
When NACA has nothing.
No.
And they are a very critical institution in terms of supervisory powers about the quality of our education. So what we are saying is, when we come to information on bills, certain sectors, we are so particular about those sectors at that time. If we leave this one now, another one comes in, we will see that also as critical, and then we will try to use the same funds for the same thing. That is not going to be possible.
Chair.
Yes. Go ahead, Chairman.
Yes, the funding of NACA is not solely on the education levy. NACA has additional sources of revenue. That is added to the education levy that is given by the Ministry of Finance. So the education levy for NACA is not the only funding mechanism NACA actually has. There are other sources of funding for NACA.
What are those fundings?
When you apply for an education institution, for you to be accredited, there's a fee that you actually have to pay. And these fees can go all the way up to $40,000 to $50,000 per institution. Now, when people also
when you want to what?
When you want to create a new school, for example, when you want to create a new school.
When you want to create a new school.
Exactly.
This is created once only.
No, I'm coming. There's one. That's only one. Number two, every year or every 2 years, the people that actually teach in the tertiary education, particularly the private sector, they have to be licensed, they have to be accredited, and all these things they have to pay. Every one of them they have to pay. Once your license expires, you have to go and renew the license, and there's a payment that you have to also pay to NACA before they can renew your license. So all those licensing fees, that are paid by persons that are teaching and also by the institutions that have been accredited, all forms part of the revenue for NACA.
Now, what is the total revenue of NACA per year against possible expenditure? We should be able to have that.
No, well, as a committee, we've done extensive research on that. In fact, I remember there's 1 year, the total that they were able to get from the government was about 40 million.
NACA.
So NACA, yes. But remember, NACA has a board, and it's the board that approves their budget.
Now, what I'm saying is, you know, our NACA is a government institution.
Yes.
And it is also a critical institution. It should be funded. Now, what I'm trying to say is, we know their budget, the revenue base, against their possible expenditures. Then you'll be able to at least say, so far, this is the revenue, and then there are other satellite institutions that need money. We move this one to this one. But we cannot move, when we don't know those things, we move to some other satellite institution only to weaken another institution.
No, Chair, okay, I think there's one thing we need to understand. There's something we need to understand first. The total money generated from the education levy is not given to NACA by the Minister of Finance. The Minister of Finance gives the money based on the budget that was approved by their board. However, when you look at the total money that's collected, it's not everything is given. There's a balance. So that's the balance we are talking about. Part of that balance must be given to this institution, and the other one also, I think it's about 7% or so, also given to the trust fund bill to support other institutions.
Now, I think that's what the minister, when the minister said, I don't know, you said 75%.
Approximately, yeah.
About 75%. I think that's what you said.
Yes.
Yes. And then you have some other satellite institutions. Anyway, let's hear from you.
For progress sake.
Central Badibu.
Yes, for progress sake, according to the minister, 75% is already used by NACA from this educational levy. 25 is left, but that 25, they don't in fact confirm whether other institutions are not benefited from it. Now, what I'm seeing here under clause 18, the funds of the scheme consist of money appropriated by National Assembly, and we have the funds established under fees, charges, grants, income from. I think this is well crafted. We can depend on this and move, because we cannot decide on that 25% when we don't confirm how it is segregated among those institutions.
Thank you very much. Yes, Honorable Kiang West.
Honorable Chair, last time when we were looking at the two previous bills, there were percentages from 10 to 15, but I could remember very well, there was proposal of 10% for education levy to go to tertiary and higher education trust fund. Whether that percentage has been increased or not, but there has been an approval of a certain percentage. And we went back to the budget. In fact, that was done by me to look at how much was the education levy in the entire budget. We realized that, okay, we can allocate at least 10 to 15% to tertiary and higher education trust fund. We've done that one. And if we are doing this one again, we are putting more pressure on that fund. And collection of that fund, sometimes it varies year in, year out. So it is important we look at that too before we put another pressure on that fund again, and it will not be sufficient for both the institutions, and other institutions will be crippled.
Then why can't we, as the Honorable Member for Central Badibu State, that the one crafted as the source of funding is more than enough? It is incorporating so that the Honorable Minister, if there are funds somewhere lying that probably, as explained by the Honorable Member for Lower Kiang West, if they are, let them resort to Parliament. Parliament will give some directives in their appropriations to do what is necessary.
Yes.
But because of this particular issue,
we have a suggestion.
All what we don't want is to be sharing that small cake between institutions when we are denying some of them some money. You know, every institution we will say education levy.
Yes.
Every institution education levy. Education levy. At the end,
yeah, we have a suggestion.
I think we leave it as it is, as crafted. Yes. Yes, Honorable Member for Police.
Yes, I want to suggest that we leave it as it is, but I have just an addition to C. I think we missed one thing, which is gifts.
What?
Gifts.
You are on
C, 18C. You know, you have donations, but wherever you have donations, you also have gifts. Well, there are differences. They are not the same. It's not the same. Huh? Donation is fine. Okay. Then my other problem.
Your legal people are saying yes, we should include gifts.
We
include gifts.
Yes, we can.
Because we've seen in other.
We have been using gifts and donations all the time, where we use gifts at the same time donations. All what we need to make sure, and I think that will be taken care of, is it must be lawful. It must be within the legal basis, lawful. Yeah, no, somebody can give gifts to the institution. Pardon? Honorable Woolley? No, we have not settled this one. Do we add a gift or we don't add it?
Chair, we add gift, please.
The gift is personal.
Honorable.
Chair. Chair.
Honorable, let's hear from others.
Chair.
Honorable members, Opasalu.
With this fund, I'm not sure how gifts will be important because gifts is more of something material. So for me, I think donations is fine. So we can leave the gifts away because the gift normally is like material in nature. So I think we can leave it as donations only. But yeah.
Very honorable, materials in nature can be converted to dollars. Sometimes the Japanese will give us rice for a project. We sell the rice and then get the money and put it there.
Okay, then let's leave it as is. Gifts and donations.
All right. So, honorable, yes. What is it as regarding this? With these gifts for the time. Banjul not.
Thank you very much, Chair. I believe I just want to agree with you with the last example that you gave. For example, if the Japanese rice is here and they want to give it to them so that they convert it to at least cash. So it's important to include the word gift.
All right. So now, honorable members, two things. We include gifts or we don't include gifts?
Can I also come?
I think you came.
No, I didn't know that.
You said I gave you floor, my friend.
He said he did not use his mic. He never wants to use his mic.
No, say you want to come back. You can come back. But I gave you floor. And if you don't use your mic, is that my fault? I said Central Badibu specifically. I don't easily forget.
Okay.
Take the floor again if you want to.
Honorable Chair, I want us to maintain donation. The facts that I have, both gifts and donation involve voluntary transfer of something of value. Donation often implies a transfer to a charitable organization or for a specific cause, while gift is more commonly used to personal exchanges. Here we're talking about a fund. Do you understand? So donation is the most, suitable term here than gift.
Now, yeah, you have said that. Yeah, that Honorable, you are very right. Listen to people. You are talking. People who are listening. I may attack. I may tell attacker, not you, because if he speaks without me, he's flouting the rules. So what I'm saying is, you have made a brilliant analysis, but that doesn't make it possible for a gift to be there. You are talking about funding, giving scholarship to students. To students. This is what you are talking about. Anything, even a boss can come. If nobody can give a boss, and then when the boss comes in, he's sold or given to another institution or sold, and then the proceeds are put inside. No, now do it. Table office.
So we have some issues.
Wait, where is it, sir?
Donations and gifts.
So after donations.
After donation and gifts.
There should be no
Yes, and
there should be no because after donations there was no
Okay.
Yeah, let me just complete this on. Is there any other thing on 18? Woolly East, yes.
If you look at 18.2, it's saying the scheme shall pay its monies into a bank account approved by the board.
Honorable, let's listen to him. Let him put what he wants to put.
No, I'm saying the approval is done by the board. What about the minister? I was thinking that maybe it will be the board and the minister of finance, because I think they are accountable to the minister.
Okay. What you are saying in creating a bank, an account.
Exactly.
The board is not unilateral do it without the ministry's involvement. Yes.
Chair.
Yes.
That's already given. I said for them to open an account, the approval of the Accountant General is needed as per the Public Finance Act 2014. So you don't need to add it there because that's already given.
No, but I think we can, adding it doesn't make any difference. Because it will not make you refer back, somebody refer you back to say, you see there. There are times when you are making your legal, your write-ups, and you bring in certain things from the Constitution or from the standing order or from somewhere else. It's not bad.
We want to take this verbatim.
They are saying that following their consultations with the Honorable Minister, this is what they have.
Should I read it?
Read it for us to hear.
Monies of the fund shall vest in the board and shall be paid into such bank accounts as shall be opened by the ministry with the advice of the Accountant General and approval of the minister responsible for finance.
This is what they have agreed on. The ministry, the minister responsible for the bill, our legal team. Now for your decision. That's fine. Honorable, take note.
There's another one, yes, there's one.
We are still on 18. These amendments will be done, and then there is another one on 18 that they have.
It says that the fund was established under section 17. Now, when you look at section 17, it's a revolving loan trust fund. Now,
is if you look at 18B. Yes. You know, 18 is funds of the scheme. 18B is the heading, huh? The funds of the scheme shall consist of, isn't it? Have you seen it? B is shall be consist of the fund established under section 17. Under section 17 is just on top, which is the creation, establishment of the students' revolving loan trust fund. How can that fund this one? How can they get money from that? Here's the question. That 17 is the establishment of that. And you are now saying that will be a source of funding. It cannot be a source of funding, my friend. Honorable, 18 is funds of the scheme, where the scheme is going to get funds. And it says the funds of the scheme shall consist of monies appropriated by the National Assembly. The fund established under section 17. Yes?
That was my question, but I was trying to question legal. How do you establish a fund in a scheme? The establishment of this fund in a scheme, and scheme has a source of funding. But here he's talking about establishment of a fund. You want to establish another fund in a scheme. And the language under that, I don't know.
Our problem is 17 is the establishment of the Students' Revolving Loan Trust Fund. 17, the establishment of that. It establishes the Revolving Loan Fund. And it says the funds of the scheme. If you say funds of the scheme, which scheme are you talking about? Students Revolving Loan Trust Fund. Is that the scheme? Why don't you say, why are you using different terms for it then? Why don't you say funds of the Students Revolving Loan Trust Fund? If you use two terminologies meaning the same that is not identifiable, it becomes a little bit confusing. Yeah, so I don't know. Can you help us? You are talking about funds of the scheme, and which one is the scheme?
Which one? Are you talking about
funds? Yeah.
Yes. You're saying these are the sources of funding.
No. The scheme. Which one is the scheme?
The scheme is this. The scheme established under
17.
Under 3. No, under 3.
Under which 3?
The scheme. If you anywhere.
You said funds of the scheme here. I mean.
Yes.
Where?
The scheme is this. What we're talking about.
What?
The scheme is established under clause 3. Sir.
Postpone, yes. Their purposes are.
Chair. Chair, can we assist? Yes. Yes, we need to differentiate the fund and the scheme. They are not the same.
Yeah, they are different.
Yeah. The fund means the Student Revolving Loan Trust Fund. That's the fund.
It's a loan scheme.
Yeah. Now, no. The fund means the Student Revolving Loan.
It's a fund for payment of loans to students.
And the scheme means the Students Revolving Scheme. So the fund is actually the one that supports the scheme. The fund supports the scheme.
The fund
that is created is the one that will support the scheme, which is the revolving, student loan revolving. So the fund supports the scheme.
No, I doubt that.
But the definition is there. It's already defined in the legislation.
Because if you look at because if you look at the purpose of the scheme, where is it? If you look at clause 4, clause 4, clause 3 on top. Clause 3 there is the establishment of the students' revolving loan scheme. Have you seen that? And then clause 4 talks about functions of the students' revolving loan scheme. And among those functions, it said, assist students finance their education and training activities. Just a minute. Promote and facilitate the national ideals enshrined in the Constitution. Make provision, etc. You have seen that. That is for the scheme. If you look at 17, and that is the establishment of the Students' Revolving Loan Trust Fund. And here it states, they are established in this act the Students' Revolving Loan Trust Fund, into which payments are made for students' loans and connected matters. This is only for students' loans and connected matters. And then it says, the board shall oversee the management of the fund and shall determine the conditions of grant and repayment of students' loans and connected matters. So you see that the two are different. But the loan scheme is a component of the bigger scheme. It's a component of the bigger scheme.
No. I think you are confusing.
No, we are not confusing. In 18, we are talking about sources of funds.
Yes.
For the scheme.
Sources of
for the scheme.
No, for the revolving loan.
No.
Sources of fund for the revolving loan.
Funds of the scheme. 18.
18, I mean, 18.
18, yeah. Sources of the scheme.
Yeah, funds for the scheme. You know, 17 is just the establishment of the scheme, of the loan trust. And that one is specific to student loans. Specific. This one, the scheme, is student welfare, educational welfare, and others, even all other things connected. There are lots of other things. So it's a bigger scheme. It's the animal. So all these other parts are part of it. So what we are saying now is, the question now is, in talking about the funds of the scheme.
Yes, the funds of the scheme, yes. That's exactly what it is.
So the fund established under Section 17 should be part of it?
Exactly. That's what it says.
Yes, I think that should be.
No, it's correct. It's very correct. There's nothing wrong with that. Chair. Chair, you are correct.
Yes,
you are correct.
Yes.
The scheme is part of the bigger one, which is the loan scheme. So the way the scheme is going to be funded is by 17, and from there and the others. The way it's crafted is fine.
Yes, Sadiment, right?
She moved over there.
Yes, I'm here. We are in the same line anyway, because without the establishment of a students revolving fund trust fund, and the funds of the scheme is coming from the trust fund, the establishment of it, because without the establishment, it means you cannot have it. This is why it's quoting that particular section of quoting the section 17.
I want to also remember one thing. You know, if you look at clause 3, there is established by this act the students' revolving loan scheme. The scheme is a body corporate with perpetual succession and a common seal, and may sue or be sued, etc. The application of the common seal of the scheme is that a document, etc. So that is the animal itself. That's the bigger body, the scheme. And then under the scheme are the fundings, the students' revolving loan fund, whatever you have. There is all going to be managed under this scheme. So what we are saying now is, if you are saying that the funding of the scheme, then that student revolving loan scheme is part of it. Yes.
Chair, I think the way it is put here is fine. The trust fund is created for a revolving purpose. But the way the scheme gets funding, it will get it from the trust fund, it will get it from other sources as well. That's what they are saying. So I think they are right, the way it is put.
But we are in agreement that we are in agreement with how it is. I don't know what you are bringing.
So we have an issue.
You have on this same issue?
Yes, we're going to.
We are to we will put it to them, and then if that is so, we will just revoke it and then come back and then do the needful.
Okay, maybe you can skip these two for now. You can skip 18 for now. Allow us.
I want to appeal. We continue and leave this 17 and 18 with them. And then when they finalize, they will present it to us. We have the final decision. All right, we now move to
Clause 19, estimates, accounts, and audit.
It is proposed that clause 19, estimates, yes. A microphone.
It's talking about estimates accounts. So in 3, line 2 is statement of account. I think it should be statement of accounts. We are dealing with accounts. Don't you think so? 3, line
number
2.
3.
Submit its statement of accounts. I think it should be accounts.
Submit
because at the
statement
caption,
of
what we have
account.
there is accounts.
You want us to add S? Yes. Okay.
Till 3 months. That's fine.
Where are you?
No, that's fine.
19.3.
Yes, the scheme shall within 3 months of the end of each financial year.
Yeah. What do you want there?
He's asking if 3 months is okay.
Yeah. That's the usual. So it is proposed that clause 10, estimates, accounts, and audit stand part of the bill as amended. Hi? It is proposed, yes.
Because once Mr. Honorable Member for Woolley is suggesting that we add S to the accounts. If these are different accounts, then I suggest S should be added to the statements as well, because these are different accounts. So therefore, it should be different statements. So okay, thank you.
Different accounts.
He has withdrawn.
It's going to be one. Okay. It is proposed that clause 19, estimates, accounts, and audit stand part of the bill as amended. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it.
Clause 20, annual report.
It is proposed that yes, on the list.
Sub 3. The minister shall cause the report to be delayed. That article D before laid should be deleted. You've seen it.
Members, have you seen it? Yes. Clause 20, sub 3. First line. Cause the report. The minister shall cause the report to be laid. That D before the laid is out. It is proposed that clause 20, annual report, stand part of the bill as amended. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it.
Clause 21, regulations.
It is proposed that clause 21, regulations, stand part of the bill. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it.
We want to go back to 19.
Honorable members, now we move back to 19. 17.
19.
What do you mean?
Look at subsection 5 and 6.
No. We leave it as it is and we continue.
Just give us a few minutes. But 19 also has an issue. Subsection 5.
What, 19?
Yes, the scheme is accountable to the National Assembly.
19. Subsection 5. Yes. The scheme is accountable to the National Assembly. And it is accountable to the Minister on Policy Matters.
5 and 6 were saying that they should go.
What they are saying, if you look at 19, sub 5 and 6, they said sub 5, the scheme is accountable to the National Assembly and is accountable it is accountable to the Minister on policy matters. And 6, the scheme shall cause a management audit to be prepared if requested to do so by the Minister. They are saying that these things is accountable to the National Assembly, is already in the Constitution? In the Constitution and other laws. I said, but it's not uncommon for you to be things in the Constitution. Like you are bringing them back in our Constitution.
Like this in the Constitution.
It's not like this. But it means the same.
No.
It does not mean the same.
No, it doesn't mean the same.
That it is accountable to the National Assembly.
No, the accountability to the National Assembly.
Put it up.
The accountability to the National Assembly is for all.
Yeah, but is that true? That the scheme is accountable to them?
In general terms.
Yeah, what is not true there then?
Speaker, 5 and 6 do not have anything to do with the heading. That's the basic.
With
the heading.
It's relevant to the heading. You are talking about accountability in this section. The heading is about accountability.
Estimates, accounts and audits.
Accounts and audits. What they are saying, we have dealt with 19 already. But they are saying that clauses 5 and 6 of 19 should be away.
Yes, Chair.
Let me just explain to you. The decision is yours.
Yes.
They are saying that it's already in the Constitution and it's understood that they are accountable to these things. That's the agreement they are saying. So, and they are also saying that it does not match the heading, because the heading there is estimates, accounts, and audit. And I said to them, yes, when you talk about estimates, accounts, and audit, we are talking about accountability. But that's their this thing. So I said, let me present it to you, and then you make your determination. Yes, Sanimentering.
My doubt is how can you be accounted? How can you be accountable for something that you have no hand in it?
How can you be?
How can you be accountable for something that you didn't have any hand in?
What do you mean?
You said, what are you explaining now? That's what I mean.
No, I don't understand you, honestly. Because what I explained is that these people are saying we remove 5 and 6. That's what they are saying. And I said, why? They said it has no relevance. It's already understood that these institutions are already accountable to the National Assembly. And two, it does not match the heading. The heading there, because the heading, according to them, is estimates, accounts, and audit. And I told them that accounts, audit, and all these things is about accountability. And they saw it different. You know, they are the legal people. So that's why I threw it to you people to come. I don't understand what the member for Sanimentering is implying. Sanimentering?
Yes, what I mean is, they said the other two clauses or the sub clauses that we are to omit has no relevance in it. And then you said because they said they are already accounted by the National Assembly. So that's what I mean. How can you be accountable of something that you don't have any?
No, they are accountable.
Understand?
Honorable, they are not accountable by the, they are accountable to the National Assembly. You know, all these audited accounts come to you. You are accountable. These institutions are accountable to the National Assembly. That's the laid down principle, foundation. In the Constitution and in other laws. Even in some of their own financial laws is there. So our problem is, do we remove it because of what they said, or we leave it there? That's where. Upper Salon.
Chair, I agree with five may be redundant.
Pardon?
5 may be redundant. 5, clause 5. But 6 we need to leave there. So you see, 6 is not like a regular audit. This is about a management audit, trying to find out the effectiveness of the work they're doing. It's different from the regular audit. It's not the same. So management audit and the regular audits are not the same. So we need to leave 6 there.
So you are suggesting that yes, 5 can be removed.
Yes.
But 6 is not irrelevant.
Yes, it's relevant, very relevant.
Is there okay, she's raising that it's too frequent. We need to describe when can the minister do that? Is it that whenever the minister wants?
Yes, for accountability.
The minister wants to.
Apart from that as well, can we, since he said management audit is something different, can we define it?
What is management audit? Where?
Management audit.
Where is management audit?
6. You know, 5 is gone.
5 is not gone. He's suggesting. We are not saying that it's gone.
Minister wants to.
Yes, I'll give them. Honorable. I think they are saying anytime the minister feels that this thing is necessary for him to be better informed, he should be able to do it. I think that's what you mean. Yes.
What about defining management audit?
Management audit, to define it. What do you mean? No, we don't need to define it. Minister will define it to them when he's requesting. When the minister is requesting from them what he wants, that will make a determination of what type of management report he wants. Yes, Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. For 5 and 6, we would be very pleased if it can be maintained. Yes, it might be, and it is already captured in our books, especially the Constitution. But I think it will not be that harmful if it is maintained, if it serves as a repetition. You know, it's good also to remind. For me, because when we were working on this, Honorable Speaker, many people referred us to what happened in the early 70s and 80s. They say that hope, you guys will not just distribute the money anyhow, and, So we were trying to look at how to take those concerns into consideration to put mechanism in place that at the end of the day, if you are given the opportunity to handle this thing, you will go to the National Assembly. And the message is, when you go to the National Assembly, you know that, things will not be that easy for you. You will have to really prove that really you manage national resources so that it serves as a bar.
So, Honorable Minister,
a reminder.
You are with us?
Yes. Huh? I would really want it to be there to be maintained.
Yeah, you are in for us that 5 and 6 be retained.
Yes.
No, we have already done our ruling. when we are going to change, it means we must revoke our ruling. Yes, we must revoke it and put it to vote again. Now it's not necessary. Because what we are saying is what the Honorable Minister also is saying. We are on the same wavelength.
If we are maintaining it, you said you are accountable to the National Assembly. But you also said you are accountable to the Minister.
On policy.
The Minister was specified.
Five, you are accountable to the National Assembly, the scheme, the scheme. But it says, and then accountable to the Minister on policy. And he's saying the Minister's own is clear, it's on policy. What about the National Assembly? I said all. Yes, and you are accountable to us in all affairs. We don't need to be specific. No. It's good. It's good. It's very good for you people. Yes, it's not good for you, but it's good for us. Careless.
Yes, Honorable Chair, I'm looking at one.
Are we on the
if there
same
is any
page?
amendment on the one.
Pardon? Are we on the same issue?
No, for that one I have agreed with that. I'm looking at
19.
one.
We are on 19. Are you anything on 19?
Yes, 19.1.
19.1, yes?
Yes. The scheme shall not later than 3 months before. We have not voted for this clause.
We have. We are voting for it. You know what happened? When they brought in this proposal, and he said we revoke our vote on clause 19, I said we will not revoke until we hear your suggestion and we agree. Then we will revoke. But we revoke, and then when you bring in something we don't agree, we're going back to the same thing.
Exactly.
That warranted it, and now we have not agreed with them, and therefore it has not been revoked.
Okay, that's good. I have an observation on one.
You want us to revoke it and then look into that?
If we are to maintain minister's position, which means the amendment is possible.
What are you saying on one?
On one, it says presentation, the scheme shall not later than 3 months before the end of each financial year prepare and submit to the minister for the approval an estimate of its income and expenditure for the succeeding financial year. We have excluded the board entirely in this process.
What? From what?
From submission and approval of their annual budget.
No. The scheme shall not later than 3 months before the end of each financial year prepare and submit to the minister for approval an estimate of its income and expenditure. That is, you said who is submitted?
No, that is talking about the management, the executive director and the management. That is talking about that.
What is it?
That is not talking about the board.
He said the scheme.
So are you saying that the scheme includes?
We have an executive director
is the
of the
board.
scheme.
The board is the governing body of the scheme.
So then let's put
Honorable Chair, I want to be heard.
You are heard.
They are different things.
What are different?
When it comes to the preparation of the expenditure of the scheme, that is entirely the responsibility of the executive director and the management, and subjected to board approval.
No. Let's get things clear. For the income and expenditure of it is the responsibility of the scheme. That's the board. The board makes sure that the executive director and his team prepare it. This is why, even in our own budget, it says the president shall make sure that a budget is laid here. It's asked his team to make it and then bring it. What they are saying here is the team, the scheme. Now, what I may understand with you is, rather than use the word scheme, you can use probably the board. That I can understand. But it's not the executive director who is responsible. He's not accountable to us. It's the board that is accountable. We have nothing very little to do, except when the board is coming, they bring him along.
Honorable Chair, I wanted to still consider that because I think...
To consider what?
To say it is not the responsibility of the executive director. It is, of course. This is an institution that we established. This is why we appoint an executive director.
Honestly,
executive directors are the...
You have never brought about any PE or public institution where that was the functions of the executive director. Just one, you cannot quote one. It's the board at all times. Let me just clear this. I will agree. I may agree if we say instead of the scheme, we say the board. That I can understand. But we cannot talk about the executive director here.
I'm not asking you to talk about the executive director. What I mean is, when the scheme prepares this, and the scheme is going to do this preparation through the executive director, because they are the ones responsible for the day-to-day management.
But that is not for us to state that here.
No, I'm explaining. Can I learn, if I may? They are the one responsible for the day-to-day management of the scheme, the administration, the operation and everything. So the budget for the succeeding year is to be prepared by them, submitted to the board for approval before minister's approval. That's the process.
No, this is what I'm saying. You know, what I'm saying is the board does not go to prepare the accounts. Nowhere. But you don't talk about that. All the board makes sure that the accounts are prepared. That's why they are there as the governing body. But you cannot go and say the accounts to be prepared by the Director General and all these things submitted to the board and the board. No. The board deals with those things. That are these things. For us outside is the board as the management.
That's not my argument. That's not my argument.
Please. And you see all those that you have done, you will never see what you are saying there.
Of course, Honorable
Just quote me one.
Honorable Speaker, there are bills that states, preparation of the executive director, not exactly specifically to talk about executive director, but when institutions, the management prepare the accounts, the management approves, management accounts are subject to board approval. That is in the bills.
No, those may be small.
Public enterprise.
You are talking about different things now. You know, now it's not the Director General or anything. You are talking about management. And that one may be implicit in the sentences or legal frames. But when it comes to accountability, preparation of accounts, it says the board shall prepare those accounts and then submit it to the minister. Not any other person. Not the management, not the Director General, not any other person.
Then the board will institute.
So let's get that clear. You are saying something.
Yes. For me, I don't agree.
That is, it's a given.
You know, feels interference, more or less interference in the day-to-day operations. But the ministry is a supervisory authority. All these institutions fall under them. The minister should be able to ask for a management account of these things to be submitted to him for him to know what is happening. There is not interference, because he will finally be held accountable.
What about on policy matters?
On, you know, even the policy matter is, you see, he said they report to him. You know, when they make their policies, they get his blessing, they talk to him. The board is also talking to the minister as the supervisory institution.
But now you're saying, anyway, it's fine.
On,
it's your decision.
You see, it's accountable to them on policy matters.
But these policy matters are for the board.
Chair.
So you mean the body's policy is whatever policy they make, nobody looks at it again?
Of course, the government's policy overrides the board's policy.
This is what I'm saying, and the minister is responsible for that.
Yes, but we don't spell that out in the law.
No, that's understood. That's understood. That's understood.
That is taken care of in the Constitution.
But I think, honorable members, we are comfortable with what it is.
Chair.
We are unable to convince you unless you become an MP. You come and join us.
Yes.
we cannot convince you.
No,
but
Chair, can I say something?
Holistically, we are convinced, and the honorable minister is convinced.
Chair. Wait. Let's get this. The reason why I said we can remove 5 about the policy to the minister. If we go back to 7, the functions of the board on 7. If you go back 7I, it's telling you to formulate policies which include determination of, and it gives you a list. Now, if you go back and put 5 there, where the minister with the policy, there may be a conflict.
This thing is not saying the minister will make policies. 5 is not saying that. The 5 is saying that the scheme is accountable to the minister. He is the overall executive boss overseeing all those satellite institutions. On policy issues, whatever policies they are making, they should be able to tell him and inform him what they are doing.
Yeah, but wait. But
that's what it is saying.
The scheme is a body corporate.
Yes.
Exactly. It's a body corporate.
Yes.
So which means we have to put somebody accountable. For example, if you said the executive director, for example, on one, like Lamin was saying, the executive director, for example, shall prepare with approval of the board for onward, and then you give to the minister. You know, there are certain steps. The executive director would have responsibility to prepare the account, and then give it to the board for the board to approve, and then this given to the minister. Now, you see, when you're doing the budget, the minister will take the budget that's approved by the board and send it to the Minister of Finance for consolidation. Because the Minister of Finance or the ministry is responsible for consolidating all the budgets of all the entities. But prior to that, the executive director will prepare and get it approved by the board. And then they give it to the minister for onward submission to the Minister of Finance for consolidation. So I think we need to...
Honorable, yes. I don't know which ones you are referring to, because what you are saying is...
19.1, what Lemon Lamin was talking about.
You are going to 1. Yeah, now I'm getting confused because we are on 5 and 6. You are now going to 1.
But Lamin was talking about 1.
Because for 1, what we said in 1,
that's the procedure in all the public enterprises, all of them.
Exactly. Nowhere do we say those things that you are saying in our previous bills. What we are saying is this is about the estimates, accounts, and audit. Here it says the scheme shall not later than 3 months. What preferably I said we could have used instead of scheme is the board. It's the board's responsibility, no other person. We could have said the board shall not later than 3 months continue.
Chair, actually,
but the issue of Director General of these things has nothing to do with that.
No, Chair. If you look at the State-Owned Enterprises Act on section 70, that's annual estimates, account and audit. It is telling you the commission shall cause to be prepared, which means the commission is asking somebody to do.
Yes, the commission. You know, the commission is the board. No. The commission is the board.
Yes.
Now, this is what I'm saying. I'm saying the scheme here, we see it as the board. Or you put the board. We are not in disagreement with that. That's what we are saying. But we cannot talk about the managing director and all these things at this level. They have no these things to prepare accounts for the minister. It's going to be the board who should ensure that it's done and is given out. Yes, honorable member.
Yes, Chair, to remove all that ambiguity there, all that doubt, let's just put the board instead of the scheme. As simple as that.
Yeah.
I propose that we put
before that
in place of
no, you don't do that first. We have to agree. You are proposing what I'm saying is you proposed it. I thought you were saying that we rescind our decision. Okay. Yeah, okay, all right. What you are saying is we remove the scheme and put board. Yeah, but we are in agreement that it has nothing to do with MD and all these things. Okay.
Look at
just hold on. So the proposal is, if that is going to be a proposal, and is it agreed? No. That we remove scheme and put board. Yes, go ahead.
Proposal and we leave it as it is. It's drafted. We all know that the scheme is talking about the board.
Oh, no. Scheme is in fact defined, and the definition is not the board.
Honorable. In fact, my understanding is the scheme is already defined, and in the definition you will not see that it means the board.
It's not.
So we just remove it and then put the board. To be very clear. All right. Before we can do that, honorable, we have to rescind our earlier decision. But before we do that, also, we have to look at all the corrections on that clause, because this one we have now agreed that the scheme will now be the board. But in 5 and 6, we have not agreed finally on the outcome. Now in 6, we are agreeing on leaving it there. And in 5 also, we are agreeing that we leave it as it is. Okay.
So the board is accountable to the National Assembly.
Where?
Number 5.
Number 5.
I plead with you. I'm on my knees. You move 5 and 6 because look at this.
It's defined. You told me that it's defined.
Yes. Okay,
yeah,
so
that's the definition.
Okay, let's go to the definition.
Yes, go there.
Okay, thank you. The scheme means the student revolving. I have no special. My special interest is to.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, please.
The scheme means student revolving loan scheme established under 3.
Don't worry.
3. What is established is a revolving loan scheme. Yes.
That's the definition.
Yes.
But you just told me here that the scheme does not indicate that the scheme, the definition is the board.
Where is the board? Here, in what I said.
No, but what do you say is a revolving loan scheme?
Yes. So that revolving loan scheme is accountable to the National Assembly.
Yes. That's what we are saying. When you talk about the board is of the board of what? The board of the revolving loan scheme.
So who is responsible to the National Assembly?
Who is responsible? That's what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. You see, the board is the one responsible, but the board is board of the revolving loan scheme. So
and you see,
you cannot separate. You cannot separate the two.
You can, in fact, because what he was mentioning in corporate entities, it is in fact the executive director who bears liability for all the corporate entities' ills.
No, but not in our own. The liabilities are never with them. Their liabilities are limited between them and the board.
No, you know why? Because it's
The board will define the policy, and it's for the executive director to do
Chair.
The day-to-day, they are the ones responsible.
You will not find this provision anywhere. It has never been drafted.
Yeah, I know.
No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is,
the masses want to talk. Chair.
It is not the board is the authority of the PE.
Chair. Hey, Lamy. Yes, after yeah. No. Yes. No, I have an example here. The NACA is telling you the chief executive officer, like I was trying to say. Yes, Chair.
We cannot.
No, Chair.
No, we cannot.
Can I read this for you?
No, I know. Well, I have some small disagreements with him.
Yes.
You know, and that is, you see, for us as an institution, National Assembly, we're dealing mostly with the executive arm of government. And now, when it goes down to institutions like this, we deal with the board. When you are calling your PEs and all these things here, you ask them to come with their board members, because they are the authority supervising the affairs of that institution.
Yeah.
The MD and all these things are players, are the day-to-day operators.
Yeah.
And their operations are being overseen by the board.
Yes, Chair.
The board is now accountable to us, to the institution.
Yeah, Chair.
So we cannot go from the board, go down to the MD's day-to-day operations.
No,
that's not part of our job.
Chair, can I read this for you?
Somebody is calling that.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, I want to read section 13 of the NACA Act 2021 that we approve here. Some of us were here. On the annual estimates, it reads, the chief executive officer shall submit to the council, and the council is the board, the estimates of the income and expenditure of the authority for the next financial year, at least 3 months before the end. So here, the vote controller, who is the chief executive officer, and in this instance, the vote controller is the executive director. So he's responsible. So whatever he prepares, it must be submitted to the board for approval, and then it goes to the minister.
But you know what we are saying here is, Honorable, the fact here is, mentioning the chief executive officer is irrelevant in that itself. It's the board that is supposed to make those things to be done and present it to the minister. It's the board.
No, but
so what goes on between the board and this director general or whoever or whatever is there, that's there, because it's already established. If you go into the act, you will see the role of the board and them. So for now, the board is the governing body, and we are dealing with the governing body. Honorable members, I think the question, what we have agreed, Honorable, let me repeat what we have said. Honorable members, we have agreed that in one, we change the scheme to the board, isn't it? And all others, we leave it as it is.
No, Chair. If you put board there, it may not make sense. Let's read it properly. Read it properly. Because the board is not the accounting officer. Yes, please check.
Hey, Ankakala convinced you. The board causes accounts to be prepared.
Honorable Chair, no. It is the managing director knows whether the board asks you to do it or not. Within 3 months, you have to do this and submit it to the board. Otherwise, you are held accountable for that. But yes.
Remember that we are not in administration. We are not in administration.
We have never done this before.
No, we have done millions of these ones. On the floor is that one, we remove, and then the other ones, you said we leave it as it is. Is that it? Pardon?
Honorable Chair, I think we still have a disagreement.
Yeah, we see, but now, I know there is a disagreement, but we are going to take the majority vote. This is why I'm going into it. I'm not saying that everybody is agreeing on one thing, because we cannot continue until tomorrow morning. We have to end up at somewhere. So what we are saying is we have had all the various agreements. Now, let's agree one by one. On number one, the proposal is for us to change the scheme to the board. Are there any disagreements with that? Huh? Are there any disagreements with that? What I'm saying is, I want to hear voices. Honorable, please, if you are not in agreement, you just be quiet. Those who are not in agreement, let's hear their voice. If you are not in agreement with changing that one, may we hear your voice? So it looks like everybody is in agreement.
But Chair, I've raised my voice. I told you already.
No, but Honorable, you said it, but I'm now putting a question. I said, may we hear your voice? You put up your voice?
Yes, I read what we have done in 2021. I read that here.
I agreed with you.
Yes.
But what I'm saying is, after all what has been said,
yes,
we must take a decision.
Yes.
You either agree or disagree.
Yes.
And depending on the number that agreed, we go by that. So that's where we are.
Minister's intervention.
That's where. All right?
Let's please try to compromise.
Honorable, please don't take us back. I don't want to. We cannot go this way. What you believe is right is right. You will never change it. What somebody believes is right, he will never change. We will be here until tomorrow morning. The only way is Parliament, at the end of the day, what the majority agrees, whether it's right or wrong, is what we adopt. And we go ahead. That's all. So I am saying that for one, that is 19-1, honorable members, now I want to put a question. It is proposed that 19-1, the scheme, the first letters, the scheme became into the board. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no.
My concern is, this clause was already voted for. So we must...
I'm coming onto that, my friend. I'm just getting an opinion. When there is an opinion, we will revoke the decision. If we Please, I don't want members to disturb me, please. Those in favor of a change of the word board scheme to board, please, those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. Division, Kaka. Those in favor, your tax up of the change. Those in favor of the change from scheme to board, raise your tax.
You've got it.
Honorable members, those not in favor of the change, raise your tax. Those abstaining? The noes 11, abstention 1. The noes have it. So it remains as one. The noes have it. So it remains as the scheme. One. The noes have it. So it remains as the scheme. One. The noes have it. So it remains as the scheme.